So this is chapter 1 of class 8 geography resources, and the whole book is actually based on resources. That's why the book's name is resource development. So in the first chapter what you're going to learn is the definition of resource. What are the things which make resource, any substance in nature, resource. And then we will be talking about the classification of resources. Then we'll be talking about one classification of resource which is on the basis of its exhaustibility. So let's learn about it. So first thing which we are going to learn is the definition of resource. So we know from the childhood that anything which fulfill our need is basically resource. So a pen can be a resource, water can be a resource, but what are the two basic elements which makes any substance resource is usability or utility and the value. Okay, so when there is a use of certain thing, suppose a pen we use to write, it is the use of this pen. So that's why this would be known as the utility of the pen. And value, because it is used for us, so it has certain value. So these are the two things of the substance which makes it a resource. Now same with the water also and many other resources which you try to find out. Next, with time and technology and of course the knowledge, people could find or made the use of certain substance in the nature. So we can say time and technology also play a very important role in that. Then we get to know that any resource is not resource from the very first point when it is discovered, the use of it's discovered, but it becomes resource over a period of time. Okay, so we need to give time to make it develop as a resource and to understand its utility and value. So technology plays a very important role, and many times people are not able to define technology. That's why the definition of technology is given in 8th class book, and which is the application of skill and knowledge to make certain work easy. That is technology. Okay, then we will talk about types of resources. So if we see the broad classification, there are 3 different types. One is natural resource, means any substance which are naturally available and we can use it without modifying it much. That would be known as natural resource. So the water in lake, minerals, these can be known as natural resource. Of course, sunlight is also a natural resource. Then we will talk about natural resource can be classified or categorized into 2 category further, that would be renewable and non-renewable. So renewable resource is something which can be which will be in nature in unlimited amount quantity, and that will be renewed after a time period. So we will not face any kind of shortage of that, although water is a exception we can say in this field, because water is renewable but its fresh amount is very less, it's around 2.7%, so it's an exception. Now if we talk about non-renewable resource are basically those resources which are limited in nature, which will be exhausted after a certain period of time, and its stock. What is stock? Stock means the extra amount which is left to be used, means we have the store of that, so that will be known as stock. So that if it is available, it's not available or it's just limited in quantity, then it will be known as non-renewable resource. Then we talk about human made resource. So it's very easy to understand, anything which is made by human to fulfill our needs, that would be known as human made resource. Like it can be a pen, it can be a book, it can be a fan, AC, and many other things which you see around, and it is made by human. Okay, so that is known as human made resource. Now next is a very important resource, that is human resource. Now what is human resource and how it is different from human made resource? So human resource is basically the resource which is actually human, but the human who are educated, having knowledge, skill and healthy, they are healthy, so then they can be called as human resource. And they are very important, because any substance in nature can only become a resource when a human being understand its value utility. So it's very important to understand that human resource is the most important resource. Okay, and here it is given also that human resource refers to the number and abilities, which is mental and physical both, of the people, though there are differing view regarding treatment of humans as resource. One cannot deny the fact that it is the skill of human that help in transferring the physical material into the valuable resource. Now there's a story also, you can read it and you will understand the things. Then we talk about human resource development. So we all know that there was a MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. Now it is changed, its name changed to Education Ministry. So that is basically a ministry which works to develop the human resource, to make them more skilled, to provide them training, to give them education, proper education, so that they can become the asset for the nation, they can become the resource for the nation and grow it, like they help contribute in the growth of the nation. So it's very important to develop human resource. Now we will come to conserving resource. What is the meaning of conservation? So when you use resource carefully and give time to it to get renewed is called resource conservation. And there is one more concept, which is, we can say, a broader concept, that is sustainable development. So sustainable development is the when you balance the need to use resources and also conserve them for future. Okay, so it means you have to use the resources right now wisely, and you have to think about the future also, like the future generation, how would they use those resources which are limited and now we are using them, so how they can also enjoy them. So that is a big broader concept, okay, which is sustainable development. And nowadays it is very common among the people in the world, because everybody is talking about sustainability, and there are 17 goals of sustainable development in for the whole world, and like all the countries which come under the UNO. So that okay, now we will be talking about some principles and our duty, how we can like help our earth, our country, our society to like grow sustainable in a sustainable manner. So what we can do, we can rely on renewable resources, we can just conserve the diversity of life on the earth and stop the damage which we do for the sake of development to the natural environment. So we can do these things to like be responsible enough to bring the sustainability in the development process. Now what are the different principles? Principles are basically which provides the base or foundation to particular ideology. So here that sustainable development has certain basic fundamental things which we have to follow. First, that we have to respect and care for all forms of life. Here all forms of life means every creature on the earth, we need to respect each and everything, and then we have to care for all of them, we have to be sensitive about everything. Okay, then we have to improve the quality of human life, like how we are living, we have to think wisely, we have to bring stability in our life a little bit, that we should go towards the peace. Okay, then conserve the earth's vitality and diversity, means we have to conserve the diversity in the earth. Like on the earth we see there are different species of animals, plants, and then different culture, different language. We need to protect them because this is what is providing colors to our life. So we have to protect that. Then minimize the depletion of natural resources. Whatever natural resources are available which are actually non-renewable, we need to use it wisely, or we should find the find the replacement for that, substitution for that. Change personal attitudes and practices towards the environment, and we definitely need to change our thinking, like how we should use the things. Right now people think that individual cannot make change, that ideology has to be changed. Every person can bring the change if we want, so we need to work on it. Then enable communities to care for their own environment and make everyone train, make everyone aware about the environment, its importance, vitality of the earth, so that we can together make this place a better and sustainable place to live for the future generation and the present generation both. This way we have completed the chapter. Thank you for learning.